Hello.
How's it going?
Can you hear us? You got us?
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Like I mentioned before, we're going to take as many questions as we can in the time that we have with Martin. And to kick us off, we're going to go to Bob Pockris. Bob, go ahead with your question to Martin.
Yeah, Martin, I'm curious, when drafting at Talladega, do you consider who's in the playoffs and who's not? Like, especially if, let's say, a couple of the Toyotas are out and there's only a few of you and you have to work with somebody from another manufacturer. Like, I can't help that guy, he's in the playoffs, but I can help this guy, he's not.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I think honestly, at the end of the day, you hope you're running at the finish and you're going to do whatever's best for you. So I don't know that you're going to make a move necessarily based on who's around you, whether in the playoffs or not. I think you're just going to do whatever's in your best interest to get the best result you can get.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Woody Kane. Go ahead, Woody.
Hey, Martin, appreciate your time. Skip a week ahead for us, if you will, and let's talk a little about the Roval. Compare that course, if you will, to some of the others that you've seen, particularly some of the ones that are, infield, if you will, road courses, and how it compares and what different things you have to do there versus some of the others, even a traditional road course.
Yeah, I think, the biggest challenge with the Roval is that, you somewhat have to set your car up to run on the oval. Especially, turns 3 and 4 of the oval. So it really, it kind of keeps you from really setting the car up the way you'd want to for the infield. And so it just makes it a big challenge. I think that's the biggest thing. It always seems like the infield there is, obviously it's pretty bumpy. It's really narrow. There's a lot of kind of, undulations, like up and down kind of deal. And the car is just never really in the racetrack very good because the tires are so hard for the oval. So it's just a big compromise. I think that's the biggest thing. Really hard to get your car working right. And it's a real challenge to get it around there.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Our next question will come from Claire B. Lane. Go ahead, Claire.
Thank you. Martin, can you talk about, well, for some reason this isn't working. Hold on one second.
Sure.
All right, good. Can you talk about your relationship with Talladega? It's really amazing. Like the last few years have not been that great. At 2016, up until then, you had like 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't know if you're thinking a lot right now. You had 3 straight Xfinity wins at Talladega. What is your relationship with Talladega?
It's not been very good lately. We've kind of been in a bad relationship the last couple of years. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy going there. I, enjoy racing there. It's just, it's been a real challenge to get to the finish. So hopefully, hopefully this time around we have a little bit better luck and, just been caught up in a lot of accidents. So really, nowhere to hide there. And, it's just not been that good to us. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we haven't finished the Speedway race this year, and I guess the odds are in our favor to finish this one, hopefully. So, we need it, and we'll need a good finish. Hopefully we can get it done.
We were talking about you last night, the other night on the air, and I was saying, your strength seems to be you're not caught up in all the drama. You're not fighting with people on pit road or pissed off at somebody else. And then you're a very calm demeanor and you go to Talladega, right? Does that benefit you on making the commitment to make moves, et cetera? And do you think one of your strengths in the playoffs is you're kind of not caught up in a lot of other stuff and you're just focused on what's going on?
Yeah, I think it's definitely benefited me over the years to, to kind of stay out of trouble and just, focus on my own deal and, focus with our team together. So there's a lot of things to think about and to worry about, that you don't need to really get caught up in everybody else's business. So I guess, I think we've done a good job of that. Just, doing our own deal and not really, paying attention to others. But, at the end of the day, it's playoffs are tough and, we've got a strong team. So hopefully we can just continue to get good finishes. And, so far we've been really consistent in the playoffs and hopefully we can continue that. Certainly Talladega is a big question mark, but, I think if we can come out of there with a solid day, we'll be in pretty good shape going to the Roval.
Thanks for your time, Martin. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem, Claire.
All right. Our next question will come from Michael Shelton. Go ahead, Michael.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Martin, obviously it's a very different package at Talladega this time around as compared to previously earlier this year. You got a taste of it at Daytona with the reduced horsepower. Was just curious, what did you learn from the package at Daytona that you can apply to Talladega?
Yeah, I think, really the only difference was just the runs weren't quite as dramatic. The closing rate wasn't quite as dramatic as it had been there in the past. So, speeds are down just slightly. And I think it's, all your moves are just a little bit more critical. So a little bit more difficult to get runs and definitely more difficult to finish runs. So, we'll see what we have. I think I felt pretty good about our car at Daytona speed-wise. I thought we had good speed and, we were in pretty good shape till we got caught up. So it's, it's not really that drastically different than it was before.
Thank you. Good luck, Martin. My apologies, Marissa. Your voice didn't come through clear. I thought you said Miles there for a second. But thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Our next question will come from Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Martin, thanks for your time today.
Yep,
I've
no
noticed
problem.
that this year the 19 team has had to start from the rear for failing pre-race inspection quite a few times. Is that like a strategy decision? Like, do you just target tracks that are maybe easier to make your way back up to the front to push some boundaries, or is that just kind of luck of the draw?
Yeah, definitely luck of the draw. Definitely, we don't ever plan on, those things happening. So, it's one of those things that happens. The other day I talked to James and, he said they were all clear through the first time and they were letting the car down and something popped up on the scan about the spoiler. And so they went around to fix that. And then the right rear toe was off by, just the slightest margin. So just kind of luck of the draw is the way they, sometimes it just works out that way. And it seems like if you have an issue the first time through, you always have a second issue the second time through, it seems like. So yeah, we definitely don't plan on that happening. And it's just, your number pops up sometimes.
Fair enough. Thanks, Martin. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Kyle Dalton. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Martin. So on the race the other night, your post-race comments, you talked about crossing your fingers and toes and saying a little prayer about Talladega. And so then after that, Dale Earnhardt Jr. says, anything less than 100% confidence going into Talladega, you'll race timid, careful, and you'll get into accidents. So I'm just curious, what is your confidence level going into Talladega?
I wouldn't say I'm 100% confident that we're going to go there and finish the race. I mean, I think if you say that, you're guessing, but, I'm confident in our team and what we can do. And, been able to win there before in Xfinity, not in Cup, obviously. So hopefully we can get our first win. I mean, we go to the racetrack every weekend to win. It doesn't matter what the track is. So, I think that's just the way it is. So looking forward to it. And, hopefully we can have a good run.
Very good. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
All right. Our next question will come from Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Martin. Thanks for having us. Just a quick question from Sports and Culture Media. If you could change the playoff schedule, where would you put Talladega and why would you remove it?
Well, there's no chance that I'll ever get to make the schedule or say where we go. So it's not even really worth talking about. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, right? So
it's a true wild card.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the schedule. We're going this weekend and we got to do a good job.
Thank you.
All right. Our next question will go to Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Martin, what are you guys doing right in the playoffs so far?
Executing. I mean, we've been consistent. We've had fast race cars. So, I mean, I guess everything really. At the end of the day, it's all about where you finish. And we've had some good runs. Winning Richmond was good. And, pit crew's been on it. So just, I mean, overall, I think just, we've been well-rounded and we've had good speed. So hopefully we can continue to do that.
You had talked, going into the playoffs, obviously the way summer had went, not had gone as well. And some things were some situational things that were not always in your control, but to see the turnaround in terms of results. Obviously, I'm sure that's kind of what you were hoping for, but what's kind of led to that in that sense? Or what, I mean, has it just been, you know, as much as bad luck hurts you at times in the summer, things were better? I mean, I know these tracks set up well for you to start the playoffs, so there was a high expectation in that sense, but just kind of the turnaround from the summer to the way things have started off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you know, good planning, good execution. You know, I think we understood, you know, we all understand when the playoffs start, you got to put all your best stuff together. And, you know, I think that's what, you know, James and the guys were able to do. So we learned a lot throughout the summer. You know, things we were good at, things we need to work on. But, you know, overall, we felt like we had, you know, good race cars, good speed, and just, you know, we weren't doing all the little things right. And, you can't speed on pit road and do things like that. So just try to clean everything up and be consistent. That's what we've been able to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, our next question will come from Nathan. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, Martin, thanks for your time today. So you've got a 31-point buffer here in the standings. So I guess at Talladega, how do you balance making sure you stay up front and trying to get stage points with making sure, you know, you stay out of the hornet's nest and stay out of trouble?
Yeah, that's the difficult thing. You know, you never really know exactly where the right place is to be. And, you know, a lot of it depends on how the race goes. And, you know, we see pit strategies come into play so much now at the speedways, with manufacturers getting together, pitting together, and trying to get off sequence, or get, you know, kind of in a line by themselves. So, you know, a lot of it's just going to be how strategy works out and all that. And, you know, hopefully, like I said earlier, we have enough speed that we can, you know, stay up towards the front of the pack. I think that's really that's the safest place to be usually. You know, so we'll see if we can do that and work together with our Toyota teammates. And, you know, it's, you know, one of the biggest challenges about speedway racing for us has been lack of numbers. And, you know, we have the least amount of cars of all the manufacturers. So sometimes it makes it tough, but sometimes it's also an advantage, you know, so we just have to see how it all plays out, and, you know, just try to make the right decisions and stay near the front if we can do it.
How does your preparation, or how does it differ with your preparation with your spotter for a super speedway race? How much different, you know, how much more time are you spending preparing for this race compared to, you know, maybe some of the other intermediates?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the communication with the spotter is definitely the most important at the speedways. And, you know, I think 550 tracks have kind of migrated that direction as well, but still not as important as, you know, Talladega and Daytona. And Talladega is always a challenge just because it's pretty typically always 3 wide and sometimes 4. So there's just a lot of information, you know, that your spotter's giving you, and just trying to paint the best picture he can of what's going on around you, because you can't see, you know, you can only see maybe 1 or 2 cars behind you really. And, you know, so it's hard to know exactly what's going on without those guys telling you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to squeeze in one final question. Tucker, go ahead with your question.
All right. Martin, as we've seen with the high downforce package over the last few years, especially over a long run, overtaking the race leader becomes a Herculean task. So given that, what would you say to people who say that this package puts less emphasis on driver skill and more on random luck?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I think it's different at every racetrack, honestly. You know, some tracks, the aero situation is a lot more difficult to deal with than others. And, you know, I think what we've seen at Vegas the other night was an example of, you know, you had to handle really good. The track was slick, you know, and it was difficult to get your car working right. And I think the best handling cars finished up front, obviously. So, you know, some tracks, it's a little harder to deal with the aero situation. It's a little easier to block. And typically, I think, you know, the more lanes there is to run, like, you know, Vegas, we could run all over the racetrack, and that definitely helps the show, helps a lot. And I feel like if your car's good, you can pass. So, you know, Kansas, I feel like coming up in a few weeks is similar, but we did see a guy, you know, win last year, I guess it was, by doing some pretty serious blocking at the end. So it just depends, you know, honestly, it's a little different at every track. And it depends on how your car is and how the cars around you are driving.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Martin, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you.